Meet Sarah. She makes $81,000 a year, more than her parents ever earned, even after adjusting for inflation. And yet last month, after rent, insurance, and one unexpected car repair, she had exactly $43 left. Not because she failed at something. Because something was built to make sure she would. Here's the question worth asking before anything else: if wages have technically gone up, and you're still broke by the 15th of every month, who actually benefits from that gap? Keep that question in your head. We're going to answer it. Start with the paycheck. In 1970, a single income could buy a house, raise 3 kids, and still leave something over. Today's household, like Sarah's, often earns more in real, inflation-adjusted terms than that household did. But the cost of survival, rent, healthcare, childcare, has climbed even faster than income has. Rent has outpaced wage growth for 4 decades running, by most economic estimates. Healthcare spending per person has roughly quadrupled since 1980, adjusted for inflation. In some major cities, full-time childcare now costs as much as a year of public college tuition. None of these are exact figures, they vary by city and by year, but the direction is not in dispute. The floor moved. Your income didn't move with it. Now, that's only half the story. The other half is what happens inside your head every time you open your phone. Because somewhere along the way, the checkout button stopped being a button and became a decision removal machine. One-click purchasing wasn't built by accident, it was built specifically to delete the 3-second pause where your brain used to ask, "Do I actually need this?" That pause used to be free. Now companies spend billions engineering it out of existence. Credit made the trap tighter. Revolving credit card debt has existed since the 1970s, but it's grown steadily and sharply since, and today, among households that carry a balance, that balance often runs into the thousands. Not every household. But enough that debt has quietly shifted from a last resort to a default setting. You don't feel yourself borrowing. The app just says approved, and your brain reads that as permission, not as a loan. So picture Sarah again. 5 streaming subscriptions, auto-paying every month, adding up to somewhere around $1,000 a year, money leaving her account in amounts too small to notice individually, and too automatic to stop. Add grocery prices up over 20% since 2020, add a rent renewal that jumped without warning, no single charge broke her budget. It was death by 100 small subtractions, each one designed to be too minor to fight. And that brings us back to the question we started with: who benefits? Because every one of those systems, the one-click button, the autopay subscription, the buy now, pay later prompt timed for 11 p.m. when your willpower is lowest, has a name attached to it, and a shareholder expecting growth this quarter. Your inability to save isn't a personal failing. It's a line item on somebody else's earnings report. So what actually breaks the pattern? Not another budgeting app you'll abandon in 3 weeks. Not more willpower, because willpower loses to good design almost every time. The people who consistently build savings do one unglamorous thing differently: they automate the transfer before they ever see the money. They turn saving from a decision into a default, the same trick used against them, just pointed the other way. A fixed percentage moves out on payday, before checkout buttons and midnight discounts ever get a vote. Sarah didn't fix her finances by wanting it more. She fixed it by removing herself from the decision entirely, one automatic transfer, set once, never revisited. So no, you're not bad with money. You're playing a game where the rules were rewritten, and the other side never had to ask your permission. The real question was never why you can't save. It's who's been counting on the fact that you can't. Once you see that answer clearly, your bank balance stops feeling like a verdict on you and starts looking like a system you can finally outmaneuver.